Hi guys, we're going to start on the IXL section. It's still Algebra 1, but we're looking in the geometry section, F. Right now I'm going to show you similar figures, side lengths, and angle measures, which is right here. That's F6. And we're probably going to have proportional sides and proportional angles. So let's take a look. It says, if these two figures are similar, what is the measure of the missing angle? Well, similar figures have all the same angles, but they may or may not be the same size. So in this particular case, the angle P, since this thing's upside down, is the larger one. We can see, of course, it's an obtuse angle, and it's going to be the 112. And let's see what else we've got. Okay, again, it says the two figures are similar, so they have all equal angles. That gives it 67 down in the corner. Looks like I'm not going to be doing much writing on this one. This one's upside down, so we're looking at the obtuse angle there. It looks like it's 114. Getting my pen in case I need to write something. Oh, sorry, there we go. There we go. That's a right angle. Oops. That's a right angle up here, so that's a right angle right there. That's 90 degrees. Okay, now what we're looking at is proportional sides. Whenever we have this, we can write a proportion. The most obvious answer is r over 1 is equal to 4 over 2. And what we can see, of course, is that this figure is twice as big. One thing you might want to pay attention to is the fact that if we divide this up into its 4 parts, where they're twice as big, notice it's 4 times the area, just something to note. In order to solve this carefully, you would cross multiply, of course, and you'd get 2r is equal to 4, and r, of course, is equal to 2. We can see that this figure is twice as big, so this figure over here is half as big, which means that we have to divide by 2 to get our side length. This one, 108, it's an obtuse angle up in the corner, 108. Oh, this one's a little more interesting. Now, this one isn't rotated. It's not in the same position, or it's not in the same orientation. So if we reorient it, we can see that the 32 goes with the 40, and the A goes with the 60. Now, a lot of people get confused. They're like, I don't know where to start. So I'm just going to always start with the variable. So I'm going to write A. Now, I have a choice. I can write the A because it goes with the 60. I could write A over 60 is 32 over 40. Or I could just simply put the A over the 32 since they're in the same figure. Now I just have to make sure that this side corresponds to the side on this figure, which is the 60. So it's 60, that goes with the A, and the 40 goes with the 32. Now, here's a little problem. A lot of people are going to just automatically cross multiply and divide. Instead of multiplying this out, I'm going to leave it as a product. In other words, I'm going to leave it like this. 60 times 32 is equal to 40a. Now, there's some other things I could have done. I could have simplified this particular fraction into 3 over 2, and it would have been a lot easier to solve my equation. The reason I did this, the reason I left this as a product is so that I can do the following. Notice that I can still do the simplifying. I'm not canceling zeros, I'm dividing by 10. The 4 cancels with the, divide by 2 and divide by 2, and I've still got one more 2 I can divide, and that gives me 16 times 3, which is 48. So A is equal to 48. Now, one of the things you want to see is if it makes sense. This 32 is a little bit smaller than this side A, so we expect A to be a little bit bigger, just like we expect the 60 to be bigger than the 40. It's half again as big, and half again as big as 32 makes 48, and that works. Again, we've got an obtuse angle. Now this has been reoriented. So you need to be a little bit careful to where you make sure that this 69 matches with the 69. Notice that this has been rotated down. That means that this angle is coming down into right here, isn't it? Can everybody, hopefully everybody can see that these are my two right angles. And of course, that's going to be my 111. I should have checked to make sure they said it was similar. They've been telling us that. Now, in this particular case, to get from here to here, I multiplied by 3. In order to get back, I divide by 3. So we're going to divide by 3 and get 4. Of course, you can always set it up. V over 1 is equal to 12 over 3. And reducing gives us V equals 4. So this is 4 kilometers. You need to make sure your units actually match as well. Similar figures again. We've got S over 7 is probably going with the 36 over 6. And we could cross multiply and simplify. Of course, the easiest way is to say, this is 6 over 1, and then cross multiply. We get 42 is equal to S. We could have done it before or after we do the multiplication. So 42 does make sense. This one is slightly larger, and it says the 7 is slightly larger than 6, and 42 is slightly larger than 36. It looks like it's been reoriented. To reorient it, I'm just going to rotate it upwards a little bit so that we get the 90 goes with the 63. And again, I could reduce this fraction. And the H goes with the 56 in the same way. I just rotated it up. And reducing this, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to reduce this by dividing by 9. That gives me 10 and 7. Notice that I multiplied by 8 to get to here. So if I multiply by 8, I get 80. It's just a way of simplifying it a little bit faster rather than doing the cross multiplying and the simplifying. Now this one you need to be a little bit careful. Obviously this is an obtuse angle, and the only obtuse angle on this figure is the 110. It specifically says that they're similar. Here's the little symbol for similar, and that means that all the angles are the same. So this is 110. This one is an acute angle. And the only acute angles in these figures, these, by the way, are parallelograms, and they have equal opposite angles. And of course, that has to be 74 since that's the acute angle. This one is also an acute angle, so it's 69. Faster here. Now we've got proportional sides. It looks like we have the 56 going with the Q and the 8 going with the 12. Lots of ways to write it. I can write the 56 over 8 is equal to the Q over 12. And instead of multiplying 56 by 12, it's much easier just to do the division. 8 goes into 56 7 times, and Q times 1 is Q, and 7 times 12 is 84. So 84 kilometers. That's my answer. the W is proportional with the 4 and the 18 with the 24. So we can write W over 18. The W is to the 18 as the 4 is to the 24. And of course, we can simplify this. And this is the same as multiplying by 3. So this one needs to be multiplied by 3 to be proportional. So we're talking about 3 feet. And does it look reasonable? Does 3 look like a reasonable answer for this? And it does. Looks like we're a little more interesting this time. We multiplied by 3.5 in order to get this way. Anyway, I'm going to rewrite it. 2 is to 7 as Q is to 14. And of course, this is an equivalent fraction situation, and it takes a 4 to make equivalent fractions because I multiplied by 2. So 4 kilometers. This one needs to be rotated. It looks like the J is the short side, so J is to 21, as 6 is to 9. And of course, we could reduce this to 2/3, and it looks like we multiply by 7 to get 21, so we multiply by 7 and get 14. I'm oversimplifying this a little bit, but that's okay. We want to get it done and practice a little bit. So now we're going to rotate this direction a little bit. If I rotate this figure, it'll be oriented in the correct direction. So it looks like my 96 is going with the 84, and this N is going with the 56. And again, we've got a lot of simplifying going on here, but let's go ahead and divide by, it looks like 96 is divisible by 8. That 12, oh no, it's only divisible by 4. So this is going to be 24, and divide this one by 4 and you get 21. Dividing by 3, we get 8 and 7. 7 times 8 is 56, and 8 times 8 is 64. Basically, what I'm doing is creating equivalent fractions by multiplying the denominator and numerator by the same number. We could cross multiply and simplify. We could grab a calculator. There's lots of ways to go. I like to do it without the calculator when possible. Oh, okay, looks like we got a couple more. All right, looks like we have W over 15. W is to 15 as 30 is to 9. And we could simplify this. That's going to give us a 3 dividing by 3. And that means that we multiply this one by 5. We have to multiply the denominator or the numerator by 5 to give us 50. And that seems reasonable. 42. Again, I'm going to rotate this in this direction. Rotating it means the 42 matches with the 48. One way to say that these two shapes are similar is by writing this little squiggle here. 64, since the 48 is in the denominator, the 64 has to go in the denominator. Just be careful. Make sure that you write the pink triangles in the numerator, the orange triangles in the denominator. Anyway, we can simplify this by dividing by 6. That's going to give us a 7 and an 8. And multiplying by 8 gives us 64. Multiplying by 8 gives us 56. Looks like M is to 15 as 56 is to 70. And again, cross multiplying and simplifying. Dividing by 7 gives us 8 and 10. No easy way to go. We can get 4 and 5, and now we have to multiply by 3 to get 15, so we have to multiply by 3 to get the 12. Rotating this one this direction down means that the 42 matches with the 63, hopefully, and the 36 matches with the J. Again, I could cross multiply. I just want to mention this. If I do that, you probably don't want to grab your calculator and just multiply it and divide it, but you could. 36 times 63, I'm going to leave it as a product, and that's going to be 42 times J, and I'm going to divide by 42. Now, the reason I left this as a product is because it's a lot easier for me if I'm going to do the division by hand to simplify this. 42 divided by 7 is 6, and 7 goes into 63 9 times, and then 6 goes into 36 6 times, and 6 times 9 is 54. And I think we may be done. No, one last one, I think. Oh, this is interesting. Be careful, the 24 matches with the B, not the 24, of course. So we multiplied by 2, and it's twice as big, so this one is going to be 48. Oh, another one. Okay, the S seems to match with the 63, and the 100 goes to the 90. Now, a lot of people wonder, well, how do you know that you should put the S over the 63? Well, you didn't have to. It just happens that this side matches with this side on the other figure. But I could have just as easily done S over 100. It probably seems more obvious that S over 100 is equal to 63 over 90. Same thing. Let me rewrite it. S over 100 is equal to 63 over 90. And what you'll notice is that if I cross multiply this, I get 90s is equal to 6300, or 6300 is equal to 90s. Same deal. Simplifying this, 63 gives me 7 goes in there 9 times. Oh, sorry. 9 goes in there 7 times, and 9 goes in there 10 times. And that means that this is going to be 10 times as big, so that's going to be a 70, isn't it? This is 70% of this side, and this side is 70% of that side. Another way of saying it. And we're still not done. Man, oh man. All right, A is to 6. Sorry, that's supposed to be an A, not a 9. That's an A is to 6. I did this side over this side, so I have to do the long side over 49 over 14. And reducing gives me 7 over 2. Multiplying gives me 21. And I think I'm finally done. No, man, it doesn't like me today. All right, this is a rectangle. This is the shorter side over the longer side. 80 over 96. This is the shorter side over the longer side. N over 36. And if we simplify, we can put 8 goes into 80 10 times, and 8 goes into 96 12 times. And this is multiplied by 3, so that's going to be 30. And I just double checked my units, looks good. Boy, they really want to work us here, don't they? No easy way to go. I'm going to put the 16. You know what? I'm going to do the 16 with the 4. So I did the long to the short. That means that I need to do long to short. 24 over S. And simplifying this gives me 4 over 1, which means that I have to multiply by 6 to get that side. And does it look reasonable? Notice that this is 4 times as long as the short side. So this long side has to be 4 times as long as the short side, and it is. They have to be related proportionally. There we go, finally done. Sure takes a long time sometimes. All right, good luck with that. It's good practice anyway. Proportionality is a good thing to practice. See you next time.